Maybe you will be walking through weary day in silence and wondering if the Father still hear you. But today, this video is a whisper. I have never left you. Welcome to God's love and ending.
My beloved child, now open your heart to receive the words I am about to speak, for they are the gentle yet powerful truths flowing from my heart, meant especially for you. I have seen you walking through weary days, when your faith flickered like a tiny flame in the midst of a storm. I know every time you held back your tears, every quiet sigh that no one around you could understand. You were not alone in those long nights, for I was there silently sitting beside your bed, placing my hand over your troubled heart, whispering peace that surpasses all understanding. Now I declare to you, your prayers have not fallen into a void. Not a single word you uttered has been forgotten. The quiet murmurs, the unspoken desires, the weak pleadings in moments when you felt drained of strength, I have heard them all. And not only heard, I have remembered. My beloved, my love for you is not measured by fleeting emotions or dependent on whether you feel my presence. It is deep, unwavering, and always at work for your highest good even when you cannot yet see it. You have asked me for healing, for your weary body to be restored, for your restless mind to find peace again. You have lifted up to me your real, pressing needs, finances, work, the road ahead, and I have listened. But I did not come merely to help you get through. I came so you may rise up. I do not merely patch the torn places in your life. I recreate, renew, and breathe life into what you thought was lost forever. O child, this is the moment I act. This is the divine intersection where heaven touches earth to bring breakthrough into your life. You persevered when others gave up. You kept praying when it seemed no miracle came. You kept sowing seeds of faith when your heart felt like it was withering. And now I show you, no endurance is ever wasted. No tear falls without me counting it. The seeds you planted in the dark in moments no one else saw, in the long nights that felt hopeless, are now beginning to break through the dry ground. Your eyes may not yet see, but your spirit senses the shift in season. I say to you, the harvest has begun. This is not a stroke of luck, but the rightful reward of unwavering trust, a divine response from heaven to a faithful heart. You will not only be healed in body, but also in soul. The hidden wounds, the unseen cracks I will touch and make whole. I will not only provide for you materially, but I will expand your vision and lead you into a purpose far greater than you have imagined. From now on, your steps will no longer feel aimless, for I go before you, walk beside you, and guard behind you, upholding, guiding, and protecting you with my steadfast hand. I want you to know this: my presence with you is not conditional. Not because you are good enough, strong enough, or pray enough, but because you are mine, because I chose you, called you by name before you were even born. My love for you does not shift with your failures, pain, or doubts. It is constant. O child, do not shy away from your weakness, for in that very weakness, my power is made perfect. You do not have to strive anymore. Just open your heart, take my hand, and walk step by trembling step toward me, and you will see, in every detail of your life, your work, relationships, health, finances, even the deepest unspoken desires, I will pour out my blessing, restore what was lost, and lead you into abundance from heaven. My dear one, through every step you've taken, though you may not have noticed. I have watched over you with eyes full of love and compassion. I saw you smile when your heart was breaking, rise again when your legs trembled from exhaustion. I witnessed the moments when you had no words left to pray, only a heavy heart. But it was in those very moments that you were most beautiful to me, not because you were perfect, but because you were sincere, a small soul, but one that did not give up. Do you know this? Your weakness does not push me away, it draws me closer. For I do not seek the strong by the world's standards. I seek the soft-hearted, those who lean on me in life's storms. And you have done that, though no one praised you, though no one understood. You chose to be faithful, and that moved all of heaven. I know there were days when you asked, "Why does everyone else seem to receive answers, while I'm still quietly waiting?" Moments when you saw others blessed and your heart ached, not from envy, but from wondering where you went wrong. But hear me, child, my timing for you is never late. I have not forgotten you. I have not overlooked what you've done in secret, nor the small sacrifices only I have seen. You may think your efforts have vanished like the wind, but every act done with a pure heart is recorded in the book of life. I do not measure you by immediate outcomes, but by your faithfulness over time. There are seasons I let things remain silent, not because I am inactive, but because I am planting deep roots in your soul. And because of that, when the winds shift, you will not be swept away. You will stand firm like a tree rooted beside hidden waters. Now, child, I want you to lift your eyes. Do not focus on circumstances or limits, but on me, the one who began a good work in you and will surely bring it to completion. The days behind you were not meaningless. They are the foundation for what I am about to do. You are not lost. You are being led toward a promised land where everything you endured will bear fruit. I will turn pain into strength, failure into lessons that fortify your spirit. I will take the crooked paths and make them straight, guiding you into the destiny I have prepared. Do not fear the doors that have closed, for I am opening doors that no one can shut. Do not mourn the past, for the future I have for you shines brighter than anything you have dared to dream. I am preparing something new, not a replica of the old, but something entirely unprecedented in your life. And when it comes, you will understand. Every weight was worth it. Every sorrow held meaning, and every lonely step was not in vain. Oh, my child, I know there are days when you feel abandoned, when your prayers seem to echo back into silence, but I promise you, not one word is wasted. Not a single tear-stained moment of prayer is ignored. I am working silently but surely, preparing a new season for you. A season in which the old will pass away, and all things will be made new. Now, prepare your heart to receive, not just a small blessing, but an overflow so abundant that your space will not be able to contain it all, not only in health or finances, but in inner peace, true joy, restored relationships, and resurrected dreams. I will not merely return what was lost, but more. My beloved child, today I draw near to you, not in the mighty wind or the resounding thunder, but in the gentle breath of healing that flows from my very heart. I know full well the weariness your body has endured, the lingering aches no one else can truly understand. There have been mornings when you woke up with a fragile hope that today would be better than yesterday, only to find yourself trudging through exhaustion once again. I have seen you trying to appear normal, strong even when deep down, all you wanted was to collapse. But today, Let me tell you this clearly. I will touch your body, not as a breeze that merely passes by, but with a restoring power that renews. I will restore what has been damaged, heal what has been worn down by the years, by sickness, by stress, and by silent sorrow. I will breathe into you gentle air, deep and restful sleep, a calm heartbeat, and the life-giving energy that flows from me alone. I will not heal you in a fleeting way, only to leave you struggling as before. No, my healing is not temporary restoration, it is deep renewal. A miracle that begins within, in your soul and mind, and then radiates outward to your body. You will be rewoven every cell, every fiber, every vessel, not according to the old pattern, but with a fresh and more perfect design. You will no longer merely push through the pain. You will step into a new life where life flows unbroken, where my light shines into every dark corner you thought had been forgotten. You will not simply be healthier, you will live with strength, with depth, and with wholeness both in body and spirit. And when your mind is torn by nameless worries, by thoughts that repeat like an endless storm, I will come to you like refreshing rain sweeping away the dryness, bringing a peace no earthly thing could ever provide. I know you are weary from having to pretend you're okay. You don't have to anymore. In my arms, you can let go of it all. I will untangle every knot in your mind, heal the painful memories you've tried to bury, and lift the burdens you've carried for far too long. And when those things fade, your soul will shine like dawn after the storm. I will place within you a joy not dependent on circumstances, a joy from heaven itself, deep and enduring. Nothing will be able to steal it, because it is a gift born from my everlasting love. Now, let me speak of something else, something that has quietly weighed heavily on your heart, the burden of finances. You have lived through days where every coin you earned came with sweat and tears. There were times you dared not dream big. You just wanted to survive, just make it through the day. But I have seen every step you've taken. I saw when you had little, yet you did not close your heart. You still gave, not out of surplus, but out of faith and goodness. You gave quietly, sometimes cutting back on your own needs to help someone in greater need. I have seen you choose integrity, choose honesty in your work, refusing dishonest gain, even when it cost you. I have seen you bring the best you could to your family, even when you yourself were lacking. You gave not just money, you gave from the heart. And I, who see all things, have not forgotten a single act done in love and in my name. My child, today I declare this to you. I will open the storehouses of heaven, not just so that you have enough, but so that you have abundance. Not so that you merely get by, but so that you walk in generosity, in peace, in freedom from anxiety. You have been faithful with little, now I will entrust you with more. I will not only provide for you, but I will teach you how to steward it, how to grow it, how to enter prosperity without losing your soul. You will no longer fear how to pay rent next month, or how to cope with rising costs. I will guide you step by step. It may come as a new idea, an unexpected opportunity, or a shift in your work, whatever the form. It will come from my hand, marked by my goodness and faithfulness. And the most precious part of all, I will make you a source of blessing to others, not just a receiver, but a giver, a stream of abundance, love, and kindness that does not run dry. Others will look at you and know, there is a God who heard a prayer, who saw obedience in the shadows, and who rewarded injustice. I do not bless you because you've earned it, but because I love you, and because you trusted me even in hardship. My beloved child, I have forgotten nothing. Every whispered prayer in the dark I remember. Every drop of sweat I cherish. Every right decision made under pressure I will reward. Don't think I only act when you succeed. No, I've been working all along, even while you waited. Everything I am preparing, even if unseen, is being completed day by day. And when the time is right, it will come not too early, not too late, but full, perfect, and far more wonderful than anything you have ever imagined. My beloved child, now open your heart, open your spiritual ears, and unlock even those parts of yourself you once sealed off because of past wounds. Listen to every word I speak, not merely as sounds, but as life itself. They do not just bring hope, they carry the power to transform your reality. What I am about to do in your life will not resemble anything you've known before. You will no longer have to knock in weariness, for the doors themselves will come to you and open before your eyes, not by human strength, nor by worldly influence, but by my own hand, the one who holds the keys of all ages. You will be astonished by the opportunities that come your way, not by calculation, not through schemes, but by the unfathomable mercy of mine. Doors that men once shut, places where you were rejected, dismissed, or overlooked, I will cause them to open, and no one shall close them again. What you thought was lost, I will restore, and even grant you manifold more. Those who once disregarded you shall witness how I raise you not for revenge, but that my name may be glorified through your life. Ideas, streams of living water shall gush forth in your mind like rivers in a desert. In moments when you feel depleted, I will fill you up. As you step into a new season, your mindset shall also be renewed. I will teach you to see with spiritual eyes, to perceive what is yet to be, and to call forth what is not as though it were. I will sharpen your vision so you may discern direction, even when others are lost in confusion. But, my child, engrave this deeply upon your heart: I do not bless you so that you may live in selfish comfort. I do not fill you so you may forget the one who provides. My blessing is not merely for material wealth, but to enrich you with compassion, influence, and the power that comes from heaven. Every gift I place in your hand is a commission. Every grace I pour out comes with a mission. You were not born just to survive the days. You were created to bring my glory into the world through the way you live, work, love, and walk. I bless to send. When I add to your life wealth, influence, and talents, it is not the end, but the beginning of a new journey, a journey where you no longer live for yourself, but for a kingdom not of this world. You will stop asking, "How will I have enough?" and begin to ask, "Lord, what would you have me do with what you've given?" I bless to anoint, so that whatever you touch bears the mark of heaven. When you speak, people will listen not because of eloquence, but because my spirit rests upon your lips. When you act, there will be fruit, not because of your ability, but because I have placed power in your hands. Every step you take will sow seeds of life. Every word you speak can lift a soul from the ashes. Remember this: I bless to position. I do not place you where you are just for appearances. I position you because I have purpose. Wherever you are there to make my name known, whether as a business person, an artist, a teacher, a worker, or a leader. I want you to be a light on the mountaintop, not hidden away. You are salt to the earth, not only to preserve, but to transform the flavor of the world around you. Do not let small things blur your larger vision. Do not let the blessings make you forget the one who has sent you. And because I love you, I not only give, but I teach you how to steward. I do not pour out so that you may waste. I will instruct you in how to use your time, finances, influence, even your relationships with wisdom and grace. If you listen, I will show you how to invest, not just in the tangible, but in the souls of others. I will teach you when to hold on and when to release, when to speak and when to remain silent, when to advance and when to stand still. So do not run ahead of me, for there is a way that seems right, but ends in weariness. And do not lag behind out of fear, for wherever I call, I have already prepared. Walk with me step by step, day by day. When you walk with me, nothing will be lacking. You are not alone on this journey. I have assigned my angels to guard every step you take. There are battles you knew nothing about because my angels fought them on your behalf. There are dangers you never faced because I blocked them before they came near. I go before you like a pillar of fire in the night to light your way when all else is dark. I stand beside you as a shield to protect you from the flaming arrows of the enemy. And I follow behind as your rear guard to defend you from every attack from behind. You are covered not in the shadow of this world, but in the radiance of my presence. So, my child, do not fear when I unfold things too great for your eyes to have yet seen. Do not let humility become an excuse to reject the greatness I have destined for you. I know your heart has whispered, "Why me? What do I have to offer you?" And I say, it is because you are the one I have chosen. I do not seek the perfect. I choose the willing, not because you are remarkable, but because you are attentive, not because you are always right, but because you know how to repent, not because you are strong, but because you dare to lean on my strength. I saw a flame within you, small, but faithful, and I breathed my breath of life into it so it would not be extinguished. Now I will cause it to blaze. A calling is awakening within you. A silent but mighty stirring is rising from your depths, and that is my voice, calling you into something greater, deeper, and higher. I am preparing you not for a single battle, but for a life marked by heaven. Every trial you endured was not in vain. Every wound, every fall, every abandonment was part of a divine refinement. You are not broken, you are being shaped. You are not forgotten, you are being made ready. I am forging in you a steadfast heart, a discerning mind, a soul not swayed by the deceptions of this age. While others chase applause, you will chase my presence. While others seek positions, you will seek my calling. That is what sets you apart, and that is why I can entrust you with something great. But, my child, the greater the calling, the deeper the obedience must be. Do not let my gift become your burden because you carry it alone. Walk with me. Let me guide you daily. Our connection is not just in prayer, but in every breath, every decision, every step. When you begin to step out, whether into a new vision, a new mission, or a specific task, you will feel a strength from me that you have never known before. Not a fleeting emotion, but a boldness born of spiritual certainty. I will give you clarity amidst chaos. You will discern what is true and what is merely noise. Those who need you will find you not because you are perfect, but because you carry life. When you speak, it won't be just words, they will be accompanied by my presence. When you enter a place, darkness will recede even without a word, because I will make you my dwelling place. Not a church building, not a structure, but you. You are a living temple. And when I dwell within you, every place you go becomes holy ground. No longer the timid soul of the past. No longer the one burdened by shame, but one saturated with my presence. Sealed by my power. I do not merely give you a title, I give you spiritual authority. And when you walk in it, all of hell will take notice. My child, my presence will be the foundation of your faith. When lies whisper that you are not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy, look to me. I am the reason you can stand. When temptation rises and trials crowd in, hold fast to my word, for it is the unshakable rock. When storms rage, lift your eyes to my name, for it is your banner. That name makes hell tremble, makes sickness flee, makes oppressors bow. You do not merely bear my name, you live in it. And therein lies your power. You are sent not in fear, but in authority. You do not walk in confusion, but in light. You are not striving alone, for I am the one who works with you. You are part of a grand design I am unfolding on the earth. What I begin in you is not just for you, but for generations to come. You will leave a legacy not merely of possessions, but of living faith, unwavering loyalty, and a life walked hand in hand with me. So arise, my child, wipe your tears, leave behind what was disappointments, failures, insecurities, fears. They hold no power over you now. I am doing a new thing. A new season is beginning. A wide door is opening. A commissioned life is awaiting. Step into it, not trembling, but in unwavering faith. For I, the one who called you, will also fulfill it. My child, I know all that you have been through. I have seen every harsh word spoken about you, words that wounded you in silence. They called you weak, insufficient, destined for failure. They defined you by old mistakes, by failures, by limits they believed to be permanent. They viewed you through the narrow lens of the world, but I see you through the eyes of the one who fearfully and wonderfully created you. Their voices may have overwhelmed your mind for a time, but they will never hold the final word. Only I, the Creator, your Heavenly Father, have the authority to declare what is true about you. And I proclaim, you are the one I chose before the foundations of the universe. You are the one I have called by name. You are the one engraved in the palm of my hand, whom no one can snatch away. You are blessed, loved, anointed, and appointed for a purpose far greater than you've ever dared to imagine. Oh, beloved one, your past no longer has the right to define you. Though it may have been a place of wounds, of falls, of regret, I have stepped into it to do what no one else could. I did not erase your past, I transformed it. The old chapters are not denied. They now stand as living proof of how great my grace truly is. I do not look upon you with judgment. I see you with mercy and joy. No matter how many labels the world has tried to place upon you, I place only one: you are mine. Your true identity is not found in what you have done or failed to do. It is rooted in who you are in my eyes. I call you warrior not because you have never fallen, but because you chose to rise again. I call you strong not because you never feel weak, but because in your weakness, you still trust in me. I call you light not because you are flawless, but because I have placed my light within you. and no darkness can ever extinguish it. The world may only see your flaws, but I see your potential. They define you by what's behind, but I define you by what I am doing in you and through you. I have written your future not in ink, but in living promise, a future that is not vague or wishful, but solid as the rock, a future built on my word, a word that never returns void. The hope I have placed in you is not the hope of this world shifting and fleeting, but an anchor for your soul. Steady even when storms rise. You will not be swept away, for I have tied you to my unchanging truth. Do not let old seasons define the new thing I am doing in you. Do not let those who cannot see what I see cause you to doubt your calling. Let my word guide you. Let my truth teach you that you are not the product of failure, but the masterpiece of a holy design. The path you are walking is not an easy one. I never promised the journey would always be smooth. I have not removed every battle, but I have promised you will never fight alone. Every true calling is met with resistance, but that resistance only confirms you are walking the right path. The enemy does not attack what has no value, and if he has chosen to target you, it is only because you carry something significant for the kingdom. But fear not, for I, the Lord of hosts, am with you. You will enter battles, but never unarmed. You will be equipped with spiritual weapons, heavenly wisdom, and power from on high. You are no longer a fragile soul barely holding on. You are a victor, entering the battlefield with the assurance that I have gone before you, and the victory is already secured. I have renewed your strength. What you thought had run dry, I am filling again. The dry places of your soul, I am causing them to bloom. The dreams you once laid to rest, I am calling them back to life. You will no longer walk in exhaustion, but in increase, no longer merely surviving, but living with divine purpose, no longer relying on your own strength, but standing firm in the power of my Spirit. You will walk through the fire and not be burned. You will pass through the flames and not smell of smoke. You will stand in the storm and not be shaken. For I, the one who called you, am the same, one who lifts you up by my mighty right hand. So, my child, square your shoulders, lift up your head. You are no longer a victim, you are one who is called. You no longer need to fear, you are covered in my presence. You are no longer defined by the words of men, you are called by the voice of heaven. You are chosen, anointed, and sent not because you are perfect, but because I am faithful. And if I have begun a good work in you, I will complete it until the day I welcome you into glory. My beloved child, every time you lift your eyes and call my name, every time you open your heart, even with just a faint whisper, I have heard. I do not require from you perfect prayers or elaborate rituals. I only seek a sincere heart. And whenever that heart turns toward me, I respond, you do not seek in vain. For I never hide my face from those who seek me in spirit and in truth. I do not play hide and seek with you. I do not leave you to walk alone through the weary paths of life. No, I am always there, patient, loving, waiting for your return each time you wander. And when you come back, I do not scold, I open my arms. I catch you. I whisper. I never left. I speak, and you will hear my voice not in the clamor of chaos, but in the stillness of your soul, not in the storm winds, but in the gentle breeze where I touch your heart with a comfort no world can give. I will guide you in the way you should go, not with a map, but with step-by-step direction. Moment by moment, I will place peace in your heart whenever you are on the right path. and I will also warn you when you stray. If you are willing to listen, you will never be too far lost. And as you walk in that guidance, joy will return, not fleeting excitement, but deep rejoicing, the kind of joy found only in knowing you're on the path ordained by the Creator. My child, do not fear what is or what is to come. Though the world may tremble, though times may change, though the pillars of human certainty collapse, I remain steadfast, and you will stand firm in me. I do not promise a life without storms, but I do promise that you will not be swept away in them. When others fall into despair, you will rise because of the hope alive in you. When darkness covers all, the light of me in you will shine bright. You are hidden beneath the shadow of my wings, a place of safety no force can touch. Even if the enemy plots with cunning, they cannot breach my covering. No matter how dire the circumstances, your destiny remains in my hands, and no power can alter what I have decreed. My child, do not fear losing anything. What I place in your hands, no one can take away. Every promise I have spoken will not fall to the ground without bearing fruit. Even if you fumble or miss a beat, I know how to bring you back on course. There is nothing you've lost that I cannot restore. Nothing that has slipped away that I cannot return, manifold. I am the one who redeems the years that were ravaged, the one who restores what was broken, the one who brings you into the place where you were always meant to belong. So be at peace. You cannot lose what I have ordained. You cannot be denied what I have declared. You do not live by the approval of man, but by my grace and eternal purpose. And my child, there is one thing I long for you to understand. Trust me with the timing. There are moments you grow impatient, watching others step into what they've hoped for, while you are still waiting. I know you have asked, have you forgotten me? Has the promise been delayed? But I say, I have never forgotten you. I know exactly when the time is right. Every promise I've given carries its own season. I am never late, but I am never rushed. My timing is always perfect, always precise. When you don't see me move, it doesn't mean I am idle. Even when all seems still, I am arranging, orchestrating, working behind the scenes of your life. There are things I must prepare within you, so that when your season comes, you will not only receive but sustain what I give. Trust me in the process. Be steadfast on the days without answers. Remain faithful when things are still unclear, because in the very midst of that process, I am refining your faith, building your character, strengthening your foundation. If you only trust me when all goes well, your faith won't hold when the storm arrives. But if you dare to trust me even in the silence where there are no words, no signs, only sacred stillness, that is when you will find me deeper than ever before. Spiritual maturity does not come through sudden miracles, but through persistent daily walking with me, even when nothing is seen. My child, I see you're waiting. I know it is not easy. There are moments your heart wants to give up, when you think, maybe that dream was never meant for me. But I say, hold on a little longer. The door is about to open. What I have prepared is drawing near. Your heart is maturing to receive it. Do not fear the long winter, for that is when the roots of faith grow deep. And when spring arrives, what rises will not be a fragile sprout, but a strong tree bearing fruit. I love you not for what you do for me, but because you are mine. I will not abandon you mid-journey. I do not require you to be strong all the time, only to be faithful, only to keep coming to me. And when you do, I will take care of the rest. I will lift you when you are weak. I will guide you when you cannot see. I will speak, and you will hear. I will act, and you will know it is I, the faithful one, who never changes. Beloved child, do not think I am silent, even when you cannot see, cannot hear, cannot understand. I am still moving steadily, skillfully, lovingly. I am arranging what seems invisible, adjusting the smallest details of your life, preparing doors, people, and timings that align with the mission I've assigned to you. I do not work hastily, but I work with precision, and in every seemingly ordinary moment, a holy plan is unfolding. I am protecting you not only from obvious dangers, but also from what you once saw as opportunities, paths that seemed right but led astray. There are things you longed for that I did not give, places you wanted to go that I did not open, not because I forgot you, but because I love you too deeply to allow you to walk into something unfit for the holy destiny I've prepared. I see farther than your eyes, and I know what your soul needs for the long journey. It may feel slow to you, but truly, I am leading you along a narrow road, a path few choose, but one that leads to abundant life, deep peace, and unshakable joy. Every step you take in faith, no matter how small, sends tremors through the unseen realm. You think you walk alone in silence? No. You are moving the heavens. When you pray, it doesn't have to be loud or eloquent, just one honest whisper. One sigh from the depths of your heart is enough to move mine. I hear even what you cannot say out loud. I understand the unspoken, and in those very moments, I am acting with my great power not to grant every desire, but to fulfill what you truly need. Never underestimate the power of faith, even faith as small as a mustard seed. That faith need not be perfect or grand, it only needs to be real. When you believe in me without seeing, when you choose trust over complaint, persistence over giving up, prayer over despair, that is when your faith is parting seas, raising valleys of the soul, and breaking chains you didn't even know were there. Do not measure my work by what your eyes can see. Some miracles happen in silence. Some of my greatest acts you will only recognize later. When you look back and see that, my hand shaped every detail of your life quietly, but faithfully. My child, keep walking by faith. I do not call you to live by feelings, but by truth, not by the fleeting, but by my unchanging promises. And if you remain faithful in that walk, I promise you will witness the impossible become reality. The doors you thought would never open, I will open. The dreams you thought had died, I will breathe back to life. The limits you set on yourself, I will break. Not because you are worthy, but because I am full of mercy and I never break my word. And when the blessing comes, and it surely will, remember, it is not the finish line, but the beginning. I do not bless you just to make your life easier. I bless you to expand your influence. I bless you to glorify my name through your testimony. When I provide, heal, restore, lift you up, it must not end with you, but flow to others. I do not place blessings in your hands to be hoarded, but to be shared, multiplied, turned into light for those in darkness. You are given not to store, but to use well. You are raised not to boast, but to lift others. You are favored not to be superior, but to be an example, a person humble, kind, generous, listening, and loving without condition. I do not desire you to be a display vessel, but a living river. And as you let the blessing flow, I will continue to pour, because where there is flow, there is never dryness. My child, I will use your life as a lighthouse, shining brightly amidst the ocean of existence, where weary and lost souls are seeking direction. You do not need to be perfect for me to use you. You only need to be willing. I will take your past, even the painful parts, and turn it into light. I will take your mistakes and make them lessons for others. I will take your tears and transform them into streams that refresh dry and barren souls. You cannot fathom the impact of a life wholly surrendered to me. But I promise you this, when you let me take the lead, I will write a story no one, not even you, would have dared to dream. I will turn the story of your life into a lamp in the darkness, a flicker of light that is strong enough to ignite hope in broken hearts. What you've been through, your losses, your wounds, your tear-stained paths will not be wasted. Every page of your past, whether marked by pain or mistakes, will not be torn out, but used as living proof of the power of healing. Nothing in your past is strong enough to cancel the plan I have destined. On the contrary, what seemed useless will become tools by which I validate you, testify through you, and reveal my mercy to others. The things once shattered in your hands I will reshape, not merely restored, but made more beautiful, brighter, and filled with purpose. The pain that once silenced you will now become the voice of hope for those longing to hear, there is still a way back. I will turn your brokenness into testimony, your fear into boldness, and your weakness into a living witness of the strength that comes from me. You will no longer need to hide your past, for it is there that I planted the seeds of restoration. The years that seemed lost will become the foundation of wisdom. The places you thought were dead ends will become the very ground where I begin anew with you. And when you tell your story, the listeners will not see you, they will see me, the one who never gave up, who stepped into the darkest places, and not only brought you out, but made you a light for others. Your words will carry power not from theory, but from lived experience. You will know how to comfort others, not with cliches, but with deep compassion. You will lead with kindness, because you once needed someone to lead you. You will not need to force yourself to shine the light within. You will rise naturally, because it comes from the very places once filled with darkness. And that is what will draw wandering souls home, because they will see one who did what no one else could do in you. Your journey is not over, in fact. What I desire to do in you has not yet fully begun. What you have experienced is only the first layer, the first light of dawn. So much more awaits you ahead. The vision you once had was just a glimpse. What I intend to do will go far beyond your imagination. Every day you live is not by chance, but preparation. Every challenge is not a barrier, but an opportunity for faith to grow. And the time will come when you look back and say, it all had purpose. What you once called the end will become the beginning. What once brought you shame will become your crown. What you once wished to forget will become undeniable proof that grace never runs dry. The greatest things have yet to unfold. The deepest promises have yet to be revealed. You are standing at the threshold of a new season, where everything I've spoken will begin to unfold, step by step, day by day. And when that happens, you will no longer question whether I have chosen you, for you will see clearly, I was there all along. And now is the time I bring you into the fullness of my eternal plan. My beloved, This is no longer the hour to bow under the weight of old limitations. This is the moment to lift your head, open your spiritual eyes, and see what I am doing. What is coming is not merely a continuation of what you've known. It is a turning point, an expansion, a new door, one that does not lead you back to familiar places, but into a land no one in your bloodline has ever walked, higher than any dream you dared to dream, deeper than any understanding you thought you held, wider than any vision you ever imagined, and farther than anything you thought yourself capable of reaching. You are no longer bound to old paths. I am tearing down the walls that time. People, and even you have built. Lift your head not out of pride, but because you have no reason left to live bowed under shame and fear. I am revealing to you a new vision, a heavenly perspective where all things are possible. I want you to see, not through human eyes, but through eyes of faith. Expand your heart, for what I am about to pour out cannot be held in the old vessel. Your heart must be stretched to receive greater peace, deeper joy, clearer wisdom, and a grace more abundant than ever before. You will laugh not out of politeness, but from the depths of your soul, because you know you are living in what is right, at the right time, in the divine plan. My favor does not come like a fleeting breeze, it comes like a wave, washing away dryness and watering what once withered. You will no longer strive to have enough, but begin to live from abundance. My presence will flood every corner of your life, not just in moments of worship, but in your work, your relationships, and your daily walk. More of me means less anxiety. More of me means less striving. More of me means more light, more guidance, and more strength in the places you once felt weak. But to receive the greater, you must let go of the old. Small thoughts that you are not enough, that you must earn love, that the mistakes of your past will always be a stain. Let them fall like leaves at the end of the season. I am renewing you. Do not let old definitions hold you back. The words that once broke you, you can't. You're not worthy. You're nothing special. I now replace with living words. I choose you. I call you. I place you in high places, where your past spoke of limits. I now open a new path without chains, without walls, filled only with faith and my leading. I am writing the next chapter of your story, not with the black ink of disappointment, but with the light of hope. The previous chapters, though full of mistakes, will not be erased, but used to highlight the beauty of what comes next. I do not simply give you purpose, I give you a new name, a name no one can take from you, a name not tied to regret, but to redemption, no longer bound to failure, but anchored in grace and destiny. I am raising you not only to stand tall, but to break generational barriers. Where the generations before you stopped, you will walk beyond. What your ancestors never dared dream, I will bring to life through you. You are not living just for the present. You were chosen to sow for a future. The legacy you leave behind will not merely be material, it will be a way of living led by purpose, a faith refined through fire, and a river of blessing that flows unceasingly to the generations after you. The negative cycles that once bound your family, poverty, doubt, addiction, brokenness, I am breaking them, not by your strength, but by my power. And I will not only break them, I will rebuild. I am establishing in you a new root, strong, deep, and unshakable. Change is already happening, and you feel it sometimes as unease, sometimes as an unnamed stirring. But don't resist it. Don't cling to what has reached its end. You were not made to remain in comfort zones. The things you once called stability are being shaken not to harm you, but to make room for something greater. Transition may come with tears, but behind it lies a new season, rich with fruit. Stand firm. Be ready. The door is opening not to return, not to doubt, not to delay. I am calling you into a journey unlike anything you've ever known. A journey with me, not just to live better, but to live truer, not just to receive, but to become one who gives. And as you walk in that, all of heaven will witness. A soul once cracked now shines like the rising sun, radiant in the perfect plan of the one who chose, who loved, and who never let go. My beloved child, be still and listen, for I am calling you to step deeper into the new thing I am unfolding before your eyes. You may feel as though you stand at a crossroads in life, where the familiar gently fades behind you, and before you lies a path unknown, veiled and untouched. I know the hesitation in your heart. I understand the confusion that comes when you cannot control or foresee every step. But remember this, it is I, the unchanging one, who stands in the midst of every changing tide. I am the one who breathes within the winds of transition, not only doing a new thing, but walking with you through the very process of it. Do not cling to what is old simply because it feels safe. Do not try to hold on to what was once good, but is now no longer fit. There are things that served you for a season, but cannot journey with you into the next. When I shift the season, I will also shift the methods, the environments, and at times, even the people beside you. Not because I am cruel or unfair, but because I am clearing the path for something greater, deeper, and more fruitful. What I am preparing is unlike anything you've ever known. It will require from you a tender heart, a willing mind, and a steadfast faith, not anchored in circumstance, but in me, the one who is always faithful. I know there are days when letting go breaks your heart. Walking away from what is familiar, whether in thought, emotion, or surroundings, is never easy. But trust this, when I call you out of the old, I do not leave you to walk alone. I do not wait for you. Only at the end of the road I walk with you in every step of transition. When you tremble, I uphold you. When you hesitate, I encourage you. When you feel lost, I illuminate the way. Not for a single moment must you navigate in darkness. For my word is your compass, unwavering, unshakable, and sure. My spirit is the one whispering within your soul, guiding each small step. My love does not merely comfort, it shields, upholds, and anchors you when fear threatens to pull you adrift. Child, what I am leading you into is not a land of chaos or reckless uncertainty. It is the land of promise, a land cultivated by the very words I have spoken from the beginning. You may not understand everything now. You may be walking through terrain filled with trials, but keep walking, and you will see that every word I have spoken is true. With each step, you will come to know that I have never withdrawn my goodness. I have never ceased being your father, your guide, your faithful friend. Do not let the unknown scare you. Do not let the loss of control draw you back to what is old, simply because it is predictable. I have not called you to a life of limitation, but to a life of faith, a life that soars beyond the calculations of the flesh. You cannot carry both worlds, forever holding tightly to the old while longing for the new. You must choose to trust me enough to let go, to believe that even when your hands feel empty, that is when I can fill them most. When you lay down what is old, I will place into your hands things far beyond your imagining. What you could never build by your own strength, I will give by grace. What you could never buy with money or effort, I will grant by my mercy and eternal purpose. You will learn to walk without a map because I will be your guide. You will learn to trust when you no longer feel clearly because true faith is not measured by emotion, but by perseverance. You will learn that when I do something new, the first place I begin is within you, your mind, your heart, your habits, your perceptions. Before I enlarge your influence outwardly, I will first expand your spiritual capacity inwardly, clearing out what is outdated and sowing seeds of new life. And when the new is established inside you, the new outside will naturally follow in a way that is both organic and supernatural. Do not be surprised if you no longer fit with what once belonged to you. I am restructuring you from within to align with the new season. Some relationships will fade not because you failed, but because I am preparing deeper, spiritually aligned connections for you. Some doors will close, not because you missed your chance, but because I have other doors that lead to something greater. Some parts of you will die: pride, control, fear, judgment, so that new life can sprout. And in all these changes, take heart. I am the unchanging one amidst every shifting tide. I am the firm foundation beneath your feet, the wall of fire around you, and the breath of life within you. So walk not by sight, but by faith. Stand firm even when what lies ahead is unclear. For I am not merely leading you to a place, I am leading you to myself. And where I am, there you will always find true life, true peace, and joy beyond description. There once was a person who sat in silence among the broken pieces of their life, weighed down by unspeakable regret. A soul that once radiated light was now reduced to ashes, burnt by wrong choices, wandering paths, and countless times of turning away when I called. They didn't need anyone to remind them they had failed. Their own heart had sentenced them with the harshest verdict. They believed they had gone too far, that the way back no longer existed, that they had been disqualified from grace and were no longer clean enough to enter my presence. Their view of themselves was stained, convinced they were the last person on earth I could still love. But in a night filled with silence, when all else had departed, when even their voice weakened under the weight of guilt, a whisper broke through a prayer, fragmented and incomplete, but real. No eloquence, no strength, just a cry, "Please save me." And in that moment, when it seemed no one was listening, I heard, not just with my ears, but with my heart. No grand ceremony was needed, no sacred hymn, just one cry from a shattered soul, and I rushed in like dawn breaking after the longest night. No delay, no hesitation. I came. I did not ask them why. I did not demand they recount their sins. I did not remind them of how many times they had fallen. I came to cleanse. I came to embrace. I came to restore. I knelt, and with my own blood, washed away every stain they thought would never come clean. The very things that had shamed them most now held no power. I took their old, tattered garments of shame, of the past, of self-condemnation, and clothed them in robes of righteousness. I placed upon them a new identity, no longer rejected, but forgiven, no longer discarded, but deeply loved. Then I leaned down and whispered, "You are mine. You have always been mine, and I have never stopped loving you. They could not comprehend why such love remained after all they had done. But that is my nature. I do not love because people deserve it. I love because I am love. And when that soul realized I had never left, that my grace was vast enough to fill even the deepest void, they stood up, no longer bowed in shame, but lifted in redemption. Now that one walks through life not as a survivor, but as a living witness of my mercy. No longer hiding in silence, they now speak of the one who found them in the ashes, who lifted them up, who called their name when they believed they were unworthy of being known. They speak of me not as a concept, but as the one who came, who embraced, who saved, who gave life again. They speak of me with a trembling voice, yet filled with certainty. I was once lost, but he called me home. I once lost faith in myself, but he never lost faith in me. No one can use their past to shame them anymore, for I have used that very past to glorify my grace. What the enemy meant for destruction, I have turned into testimony. The pit they thought was a grave has become the place of resurrection. The cry that once was grief has become a song. The scar that once made them hide has become proof of healing. And that soul, once imprisoned in fear, is now set free, not merely to live, but to live for me, because they called upon my name, and my name never returns void. That name not only saves, it redefines. It not only breaks chains, it builds new temples. That name is life. Hope, the answer for those who think they've gone too far, and through one redeemed soul, I will redeem many more. For where mercy flows, power is released. Where grace dwells, resurrection life springs forth. And that story born from a faint prayer is now a flame that will never go out. My child, let me tell you about the small yet courageous souls, those who were once bound by fear so deeply they could hardly breathe through a single day without trembling. They lived in a chaotic world, surrounded constantly by the noise of unrest and looming threats. For them, each day felt like a battle, not against others, but against their own minds, screaming with anxiety and panic. Every step outside their home was like a journey through thick fog, uncertain and fragile. When they looked around, all they could see was darkness. Light seemed to have vanished from their view. There were long, restless nights, not because of bodily fatigue, but because their souls were weighed down by hundreds of worries. They feared loss. They feared failure. They feared not being enough. They feared being left behind. And they feared they would never break free. And then, something miraculous happened, not loud, not spectacular, not a miracle to be heralded in the headlines. Just a quiet moment, delicate and small, yet it stirred the heavens. They began to place their trust in me, not with bold declarations or grand gestures, but with a trembling whisper from deep within, an unspoken cry, "Lord, if you are real, please come." And in that very moment, I, the Almighty, drew near, not with thunder or flames, but with a presence as gentle as breath. I did not scold them for their fear. I did not demand strength before approaching. I met them in their weakest place, the most vulnerable space where no one else could see. But I saw clearly, day by day, they continued to seek me, not like the victorious seeking one more blessing, but like the parched, searching for the first drop of rain in a desert. Each morning, they woke with anxiety, and yet they cried out to me. Each night, They laid their heads down full of swirling thoughts, and yet they whispered, "Lord, stay with me." And I was there every day, every night. I did not rush to change their circumstances. For the first thing I desired to heal was the storm within. I began to touch their souls where fractures had formed, where years of fear had left them bent. I did not come to lecture them on why they should not fear. I came to hold their hand, to sit beside them, and to let them know they were not alone. The peace I gave them did not come because every problem was instantly solved. It did not arrive through a sudden shift in their situation. It was a different kind of peace, one that surpasses all understanding, that goes beyond human logic, beyond what eyes can see or ears can hear. It was peace, like the wind, gentle, yet as unshakable as a mountain. It did not erase their challenges, but it transformed how they faced them. And from within that peace, a new courage began to grow. They were no longer the same frightened souls of yesterday. Though their world remained much the same, they began to walk steadily, not because the path had become easier, but because they realized something far greater. I was walking with them. I did not simply remove their fear. I rescued them from an invisible prison, the prison of panic, of sleepless nights, of shattered dreams, and the lies of the enemy that told them they would never escape. I opened the door, not with brute force, but with truth, that they are loved, they are protected, they are precious to the one who will never leave them. And step by step, prayer by prayer, decision by decision to trust me, the chains of fear began to break, until the day came when they could say, "Fear no longer controls me," not because nothing frightening remained, but because they had seen me, the one greater than all their trembling. Today, these very people who once lived in fear, who once believed they'd never make it, now stand firm. They do not stand with arrogance, but with quiet strength and deep humility. They are not merely rescued, they are living proof that grace can transform a life. They can now look into the eyes of another who is afraid and say, "I've been there, and if he could rescue me, he will do the same for you." These, who were once prisoners of fear, have become messengers of freedom, not because they are strong, but because I, the Eternal One, have been with them. My child, I have seen every tear you have quietly shed. Not one night has passed without me seeing the anguish in your heart, the pain of a father, a mother, or a loved one standing at the edge, watching a child slowly slip away from your grasp, away from all that is good, away from the light I placed in them from the beginning. I have seen your pleading, not just once, but unceasingly. Your lips have repeated the same prayer, sometimes choked with tears, sometimes too exhausted for words. Only a sigh remains. But every sigh has been etched into my heart. Do you think nothing is happening? That your prayers have vanished into the void? No. My child, I am the one who remembers every whisper. I am the one who keeps every fallen tear. When your eyes see nothing, I am already working in secret. When you think I am silent, that is when I am sending angels, clearing paths, and breaking invisible chains your eyes cannot yet perceive. There are deep roots of addiction, confusion, and despair you cannot reach, but I can. There is darkness so thick it seems to swallow the soul, but my light is still strong enough to pierce through it all. I have gone where no one else dares, into the very depths of a lost heart, into the barren wilderness of a soul in agony. I did not come with thunder or a mighty storm, but with a gentle call, a small yet unwavering light. a presence that refuses to abandon. I whispered words of life into their soul, even as all else around them spoke only of failure, sin, and tragic fate. And though the journey back may not be smooth, though there are still stumbles and dark days, I have never stopped working. I persist as faithfully as your love has endured, because your love, though weary and worn, has become the bridge by which I entered. Because you refused to give up, I moved. My child, hear this. Restoration does not come in the clap of a moment. It is the work of a season, broad journey, a process molded by faith and mercy. But it is sure, transformation is underway not by human effort, but by my power. I am rewriting the story of the one you love, turning pages stained with sorrow into lines of hope. I will not only bring them back, I will make them new. The soul once shattered will sing again. The mind once in turmoil will be healed. And the family you thought was falling apart will be restored, not in the old way, but upon a new, firm foundation. I have seen you kneel beside your bed, countless times in the night, hands trembling, prayers rising like silent cries. I have seen your longing gaze at the empty space where your child once sat, once laughed, once was your joy. You remember the innocence, and your heart aches at the present, but that very cry of love has risen to the heavens. I have not turned away. I have not ignored. When your love reached me, I was moved, and once I act, nothing can stand in my way. Believe this, my child. The day will come when you see your beloved walk out of the darkness, eyes lit with new life. The day will come when they thank you for not giving up, and thank me for never turning away. The day will come when you realize every tear you shed, every prayer you whispered, became seeds of faith watered by grace, and the harvest has come. Your family is not only preserved, they are renewed. Not only saved, they are commissioned. They will become living testimony to others, still lost, that no one is ever too far for my arm to reach. No one is ever too late for me to save. So, my child, keep praying, keep standing, even when you do not yet see. Believe that what I have begun, I will complete. Let your love, though tired, remain a song of praise unto me. For I am the God of miracles. I am the Father of restoration. And in me, there is no such thing as hopeless. My beloved child, I want you to know that I am the unchanging one, the one who is ever living, ever powerful, and ever at work, through all generations, across the tides of history, and throughout the seasons of human life. I have never ceased to feel compassion, nor have I ever withdrawn my mighty hand. Many have come to me, not in glory or perfection, but in brokenness, weariness, and despair. They came not bearing triumphs, but shattered dreams, not with wealth, but with trembling hands emptied by fear, not with songs, but with unheard sobs. And I, the God of mercy, have embraced each one in my arms. There were those who came with bodies failing, holding terminal diagnoses, when medicine had no more answers and hope seemed extinguished. I did not stand by and watch. I became the remedy man, could never create. I did not merely heal the body, I touched the very root, where the soul had grown weary under the shadow of death. In a world where promises crumble, I gave them the unchanging word of life. And then, like a cool wind sweeping through a barren field, my healing came, not merely as the absence of illness, but as the infusion of new life. Some came to me with minds in turmoil and hearts lost in confusion. They had tried every method, explored every way out, only to find themselves deeper in the dark. They asked, "Where is the way?" And I answered, not merely with words, but with my very presence. I became the way, not only to escape pain, but the path that leads into life. I became the light that shattered their inner fog, so that each step could find firm ground, even when the scenery had yet to change. In me, they no longer needed to understand everything, for I myself was enough for them to go on. I received shattered souls, fragments of hearts scattered by betrayal, failure, and loss. The deep wounds no one else saw, I saw them. The dreams long buried, I unearthed them. The parched lands of the spirit, I revived them, not with blinding force, but with my unspeakable gentleness. I did not scorn the hurting. I did not cast away the desperate. On the contrary, the very broken-hearted ones I loved and sought after, I did not view them with scrutiny. I saw their worth not by the standards of the world, but through the lens of eternal love. Do you know, child, when people come to me, I do not check their background. I do not measure them by achievements, fame, or perfection. I look at the heart, a humble heart, a soul still brave enough to seek me even in disappointment that is more precious to me than gold. No one is too low for me to reject. No one is too far gone for me to restore. No one is too late for me to rewrite their story. All who seek me in truth, I draw near to them. I have lifted the poor from the ashes of defeat and given them glory no one expected. I have broken the iron doors that held the hopeless in chains, chains of addiction, of insecurity, of sorrow, and set them free, no longer as captives, but as truly liberated souls. I have laid my hand upon bodies the world called incurable, and those bodies rose again, restored, brimming with life. But I did not stop there. I also laid my hand upon buried dreams. I stirred what seemed long dead, businesses once closed, relationships thought to be shattered, hearts that had shut tight. I brought them back to life, restored them, and caused them to bear fruit again. Marriages once on the verge of collapse from betrayal, hurt, and prolonged silence, I stepped in and poured in gentleness. I didn't just mend, I renewed. I laid new foundations and rebuilt with truth, forgiveness, and hope. Families once torn apart by misunderstanding and distance, I took each one by the hand and drew them closer than ever. And where there was once a battlefield, now stands a place of peace, of laughter, and of unconditional love. When I move, I do not merely patch what is broken. I create anew. I make a way where there is no way. I cause rivers to flow through the desert of the soul. I bring life from lifeless ground, from ashes. I make beauty from ruins. I build temples from what the world discards. I craft treasures for my kingdom. That is who I am, the restorer, the healer, the giver of hope. And today, I am still that same one. I have not changed. If you need a remedy, I am healing. If you are lost, I am the way. If your heart is broken, I am your refuge. If you've lost everything, I am all you need. Come to me, not with credentials, but with your heart. Trust me, not because you are strong enough, but because I am powerful enough. And then you will see miracles are not of the past. They are happening today, right now, in my embrace. Oh, child, my heart is now turned toward those who have given more than they had, who live quietly in a noisy world, expecting no recognition, asking for no reward. They do not stand on stages, are not celebrated, and are hidden from the spotlight. Yet they are the ones who keep the heart of humanity beating. They are the caregivers of the elderly, the mothers who sit for hours by the bedside of a sick child, the fathers who toil silently so their families lack nothing. They are the exhausted nurses after long shifts, the street sweepers working while the city still sleeps, the teachers shaping each child with patient love, the pastors, the servers, the cooks, the ones willing to step back so others can move forward. Has anyone seen them? Does anyone know what they've poured out? Who has counted how many times they chose silence when they had every right to cry out? How many nights did they hold on to their fading dreams just to keep someone else's dream alive? Who has heard the prayers they whispered in kitchens, in hospitals, in workshops, places no one thinks of as spiritual battlegrounds? I have. I always have. Not a single drop of sweat has fallen without my notice. Not one sacrifice has escaped. My understanding, not a single moment of exhaustion has gone without me drawing near. I was there, not from a distance, but within the very weight they carried. Perhaps I did not always remove the stone from their shoulders, but I placed my mighty hand beneath that burden to keep them from breaking. I whispered words of life into their weary minds. I placed peace in their hearts when they thought they could not go on. I sent them a gentle look, an embrace, a word of encouragement, sometimes through the very ones they were caring for, to remind them I am still here, and they are never invisible to me. And in the silence, I worked wonders. I not only helped them survive the long days, I renewed their inner strength. They didn't even realize that with every choice to keep loving, to keep giving, to keep interceding for others, they were being infused with supernatural strength. H. Small. Loving act became a stream linking them to the source of life that never runs dry, me. I became their secret place of refuge, where they could lay their head and rest, even for just a moment amid their many responsibilities. And then, little by little, I led them into a new season, not with trumpets, but with tender signs of restoration. I opened for them the doors into a place of refreshing, where what they once poured out would now be returned in abundance. They began to feel again the joy they once helped others rediscover. They began to be heard, cared for, upheld, not because they demanded it, but because I had appointed the time for their renewal, because they gave without calculation. I give back beyond measure, because they loved unconditionally. I love them completely, because they sacrificed when no one saw. Their reward is from me, unstealable, unforgettable. And child, know this, if you are in that very place right now, exhausted, feeling like the one always supporting, always behind the scenes, always needed but never cared for, I see you. I am drawing near. I am placing my hand on your shoulder and saying, I know, I have seen, and now it is time I restore. I do not promise that all responsibilities will vanish, but I do promise you will never bear them alone. I will renew your heart. I will place within you a stream of life, of patience, of joy, and I will give you rest, not merely a break, but true rest of the soul, a restoration that flows from my very presence. So do not hesitate to release it all into my hands. Don't think you must push a little more to please me. What pleases me is a heart that knows how to stop and surrender. You do not need to pretend to be strong before me. I know you. I always have. Beloved child, etch this deep within your heart. Deliverance from me is not always a sudden miracle in the blink of an eye, but it is always a certain reality when you continue to walk with me in faith. There are moments when miracles come instantly, like lightning tearing through a dark sky, chains falling away at once, and freedom flooding the soul like a downpour in the desert. Yet there are also times when I choose to deliver through a journey quietly, subtly, step by step, day by day, in the light of patience and the shadow of enduring faith. Every small step forward, though it may seem insignificant, is a victory in my eyes. Every day you choose to continue, to not give up. To believe without seeing that is the evidence of a miracle unfolding within you. You do not need to understand every detail. You do not need to see the end of the story. You only need to know this: I never begin what I do not intend to complete. Even when change does not come as quickly as you desire, even when freedom feels distant to your emotions, trust that I am at work. In the unseen realm, I am making a way. I am breaking chains you did not know you wore. I am building within you a strength that no one can take away. Do not let the sense of delay blur your faith. Do not let temporary silence convince you that I've forgotten. I never forget you. I am training you to walk in true freedom, not just circumstantial, but spiritual, a lasting freedom that does not rely on what is seen or heard. And remember this: when you see others being delivered, when you hear of someone healed, doors opened, or chains broken quickly, do not let envy arise in your heart. I understand that feeling. I understand the question. Why not me? I know the weariness of waiting, the long nights where you wonder if the miracle will ever come for you. But child, remember, I show no favoritism. What I have done for others, I can and will do for you. Every soul is precious in my sight. Every cry reaches me. Every longing for healing touches my heart. Let your heart rejoice when you see miracles in others, for they are proof that I am still moving, that my power is not exhausted, and that my love is still flowing. Do not close your heart, but open it even wider. Let the joy in others become the spark that rekindles your own faith. There are some whom I bring out of the darkness immediately, but there are others whom I lead through fire, through water, through paths that seem impassable. But whatever the way, I am always there. If I lead you through the fire, it will not consume you. If I lead you through the waters, they will not drown you. You will come out unharmed, unafraid, and most of all, without the scent of smoke. For I do not merely deliver you from circumstances, I deliver you from the marks of the past. No one will see you and know you were once a prisoner. No one will touch you and feel the fear of former years. You will be living proof of full restoration, not only healed, but renewed, not only delivered, but sent, not only coming out, but stepping into a new life, filled with power, filled with hope, and filled with love. My timing is perfect. My methods are wiser than human understanding, and my love unchanging. You do not need to race against anyone. You do not need to strive to become someone else. You only need to remain in me, walk with me each day, even if slow, even if unclear. Even when your faith feels like a fragile thread, I hold it. I will not let you fall. I will not leave you behind. What I have begun in you I will finish. So take heart, my child. Deliverance is coming, not as a possibility, but as a certainty. Keep praying. Keep standing. Keep praising whether in darkness or light. Hold on to the promise. For the one who promised is faithful. And when that day comes, the day you walk out of bondage into freedom, eyes shining, you will know that every tear, every waiting moment, every breath endured was not in vain. For I was there, I am still here, and I will be the one who brings you out in glory, in victory, and in a love that never lets go. Beloved child, let what I have done for others be the fire that rekindles hope in you. When you hear of a healing, a family restored, a life transformed, it is not to make you feel forgotten, but to remind you that I am still moving, that my power has not run dry, and that my miracles are not reserved for a select few. These testimonies are not the luxury of others' faith, but an invitation to your own to step into the current of grace, to enter the story I long to write for your life. Let the trumpet sound of others' testimonies resound within you like a sacred reminder. If he did it for them, he can do it for me. When you hear of an addiction broken, a soul rescued from the depths, a mind healed from torment, it is a sign that there is still hope for you, for your loved ones, for your life. Do not let delay dry up your expectation. Do not let the whispers of lies convince you that you are an exception, too broken, too sinful, too lost to be reached. No one is beyond my reach. No cry of yours goes unheard. If I stoop down into the depths where others had fallen, I will stoop down to where you are fainting. If I have healed hearts shattered into hundreds of pieces, I will gather every fragment in you and remake it into something more beautiful than before. If I have given others new purpose, I also have a purpose awaiting you, not a copy of anyone else's, but a unique design, held warm in my heart before you were born. Nothing you've done has revoked my calling on your life. Nothing in your past has destroyed the future I've planned for you. Child, understand that my grace is not merely sufficient, it is abundant. It does not merely cover, it overflows every chasm of sin. Sin may be deep, but my grace is deeper. Shame may rise like walls, but my love is higher than any wall. What others may label as unforgivable, I have shed my blood to redeem. And my mercy has no expiration. It does not end when you fail. It does not lessen when you doubt. And it does not grow weary when you return again. My love does not grow weary of you, for I am a father, not a distant judge. I am the one who runs to you before you even realize you need saving. I am the one who waits for you before you know you are lost. Therefore, my child, do not give up. Do not let go. Even if you've prayed 1,000 times, pray once more. Even if you've waited long, keep waiting, for I am working. Even in the silence, I am clearing the path, moving mountains, preparing hearts, and healing parts of you that even you have not seen. I am removing the old, so I may pour in the new. I am repairing the broken foundations of your soul, so you can stand firm when the new season comes. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. I am closer than your next breath. No need to shout. No need to perform, just whisper. And I am listening. Just turn. And I am reaching. Just open your heart, and I am ready to enter. Not because you are good enough, but because I am faithful enough. Not because you are flawless, but because my love never quits. Let your heart rest in me. Let your faith, even if only the size of a mustard seed, be planted in the soil of my promise. Trust me when you do not understand. Hope in me when your eyes cannot see. Walk with me, even if your steps tremble. And then, at the right time, my time, you will see that deliverance is not just something I do, but who I am. For I am your God. I never change. I am never late. I never break a promise. And I am always faithful. Now lift up your prayer to me with all your heart. Almighty God, God of new beginnings, I come before you uncovered, unhidden, with a weary heart and a soul worn down by the long, shadowed days. I do not come in perfection, but in brokenness. Look upon me with your mercy. I know I have strayed, wandered from what is good, but today I lift my eyes, believing that nothing can separate me from your eternal love. Draw me out of the chains, the darkness, and the lies that whisper it's too late. Restore what has decayed within me. Awaken hope where I thought it was dead. Remake my life according to your will. Heavenly Father, you who know every tear that has fallen, today I do not ask for riches or power. I only ask to feel your peace again. I've been swallowed by fear, shrouded in the clouds of failure. But I believe you have not forgotten those left behind. Restore me from within, from the thoughts that have been shaped wrongly, from the beliefs that have cracked. I don't just want rescue, I want resurrection in you. To live fully, to live with purpose, to live with your light in my eyes. Faithful one, who never forgets the cry of your people. I do not ask for a life without trials, but for grace to walk through them with you. I don't ask for smooth paths, but for faith to keep going. Keep me near you, in success and in failure, in strength and in weakness. Keep my heart soft to your voice, so I don't miss the new thing you are doing. Lead me through every season, and help me remember that even if I lose my way, you are always ready to welcome me back. God of mercy, thank you for not waiting until I was perfect to love me. Thank you for loving me in weakness, in confusion. You welcomed me not with judgment, but with open arms. You gave me more than I deserved. You held me when I couldn't stand. I may never fully grasp your patience, but I am grateful from the depths of my soul. Lord, I thank you for all you've done in secret, for doors opened I never saw coming, for peaceful sleep after endless nights of turmoil, for protecting me from things I never even knew I needed saving from. Thank you for the seasons I thought were detours, but were actually where you trained and raised me. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong community of faith